Welcome to the program Ladies Night right here on Independent Television. My name is Ameze Bazwaye. Today on the program Ladies Night, I will be joined by amazing personality. Of course, she's been here on the show before, talking about Joy Obai Siagun. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for being here.
I'm glad to be
All
here.
right, so without wasting much time, today on the show, I'm going to be looking at the importance of being an independent woman, but we're also going to be looking at it from another angle, right? So a lot of persons tend to throw out the word, I'm independent, but hey, what does it actually mean to be an independent woman, and when do you go overboard, or when can someone go overboard? I'll kickstart the show with that. What do you think, or what, in your opinion, okay, what is an independent woman?
Well, an independent woman is someone that is self-sufficient. I
Okay.
think that's just one word for it. Self-sufficient when it comes to finances, emotions, one that can actually manage everything by herself, not needing someone else help or validation.
Okay, so back then when I was quite younger, I had a friend who would say, you're too proud. You're too proud. Okay. And that's because I would never ask of anything. Even if I don't have, I would never ask you, oh, please, can you help me with this? Or please, can you do this for me? I was kind of person who, I think I still am, okay? The kind of person who wants to do everything by myself, okay? I do not need, or I do not want, let me not say I don't need, because probably always need the assistance of
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
Now, I was the kind of person who would say, I don't want your help. I can do it all myself. Okay, so, and he termed it pride. Okay, he called it pride. He said, you're too proud. You don't want anybody to do anything for you. You're too proud. Do you think that being an independent woman in any way translates into having pride?
Well, I think it does in a certain kind of way actually, because um, pride actually has you know I will personally want to group pride in two ways.
Okay.
There's this kind of pride that you really have to have. Some persons will call it self-discipline, self-love, because you just have to have that self-love for yourself, because if you don't love yourself enough, you won't want to portray. If you love yourself enough, I mean to say, people will see you as proud, naturally. And in the other light, when you talk about pride, those persons that they overdo things, not just you not asking people for help, not just you not needing people, but this is you being very pompous. I think that's pride in a bad light. Yeah, so there's absolutely nothing wrong in someone being proud of yourself, loving yourself, showing off what you got. I mean, talent, intelligence, and things like that. So yeah.
Okay. Some persons would say, especially those of the older generation, you're forming, I'm independent, I don't need a man, I don't need anybody's help, I can do it all myself, I'm a successful woman. But there some persons would say, you're using your success to drive away your future husband. When a mother is looking for her son-in-law to be, and she's trying, the pressure to get married quickly comes into play. Now, one statement that comes out very rampantly is the fact that because you're independent, because you seem to be successful and you're building your success on your own, it drives away potential suitors. Do you think in any way that happens?
Well, obviously we're in Africa, so it does happen, especially in this part of the world where a lot of men, they see success and intelligence, especially high intelligence, as what do I call it, as like as a threat to them. So of course it does happen, but a very, very subtle way to manage situations like that, it still boils down to the lady. When you see yourself that where you are aiming towards and you're actually reaching there, you're making it big, and things are working out for you, you just have to manage it. Like some persons will say, it's one thing to be is one thing to be self-sufficient, is another thing to be able to manage it, to balance it. I think the bottom line is creating a balance. Of course, that you're self-sufficient, just balance it because of the society that we live in. Just balance in a way that I don't need your help, but just ask. You get, so that because we're here, this is the society we live in. We have
Yeah.
to figure out a way to live through it. Yeah.
All right. So, in your opinion, what practical ways can women actually help to lift other women up? So, or support other women who are, in quotes, independent. Do you think that there's any way, in any form, that they could be tearing down a woman who is actually independent, or they should be focusing more on lifting that person up, even if they themselves are not independent?
Well, you really cannot totally wipe off gatekeepers, especially in a woman's world. There are people that are just there. That is what they are there to do. No matter how much you try to, just be liberal, they are there as gatekeepers. They are there as gatekeepers. So I think for those who are willing to embrace love, to embrace change, to support the next woman. I think one way to easily do that is, to not tear another woman down, especially in their absence. You stand up for your fellow woman,
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to, words of encouragement. That matters a lot too. And also, people do small businesses, you patronize them. You know that there are some ladies actually that they prefer to patronize a man who is an hairdresser than to even
Yes.
patronize a woman. They'll be like, oh, I love men doing my hair. I love
They do it well.
Yeah, they do it well. So, and those are little ways to, to support another woman, especially when, nowadays. And let me leave it at that.
No, say what you want to say. Nowadays, what happens?
Especially nowadays when there are a lot of women who are not willing to actually, I don't want to say they don't really have that strength to push forward, to push further. Where their strength takes them to is just that little
Surface
business.
level.
That little business like hairdressing, tailoring, fashion designing, things like that. So when you see a lot of women going into things like that, I think one way to actually encourage another woman as a woman is to support them, not saying that, oh, because, I had a conversation with someone and the person was like, it is enough for women it is enough for women to, there's a way she said it, like, women shouldn't, settle for just that surface level. We should go up there. When it comes to politics and things like that, we should aspire to go up there. And then I'm like, okay, you saying that women should aspire to go up there, where do you leave the other women who are not, you don't really have that strength to go there? So the little way we can encourage them, support them at that level. So yeah, I think that's one little way for us to actually lift another woman up.
All right. On a final note, because I'm going to head down to the streets, I need to talk to other women out there as regards what their thoughts are on being an independent woman. I also talk with some men as well. But let me hear your final thoughts. If you could redefine independence, okay, redefine what an independent woman should be, what would you say an independent woman should be?
Well, I think any woman who sees herself as being independent should learn to create a balance. Some persons will say, after empowering yourself, after going, up there, you're intelligent, now you're up there, you're out there. You get, after being empowered and you're making it big. And a lot of women, because they do not want to ask for help, that emotional space is there. Not necessarily monetary help or things like that, like, emotional support. This is what I'm going through. Oh, I just came back from work. I talked to you. This was how my day went. A lot of women, they don't really have that courage, to talk to the next person, probably a man or maybe their parents, so they feel like they are sufficient when it comes to emotions. So I think creating a balance, because being when you say you are when you say you are sufficient when it comes to emotions, you are in turn isolating yourself. You get, so that might lead to other things like probably depression and things like that. So let me not go there. So I honestly think that creating a balance is very, very important. Being independent is good. And my definition for independence is self-sufficient, knowing how to create that balance, knowing where to draw the line, knowing where your strength carries you. Because I honestly believe that an independent woman is someone that knows how to manage her emotions. Yeah, you know that, okay, this is where I can, this is where I cannot, this is where someone should come in, so that you don't overwork yourself, so that you don't, overuse
Yes.
your self-sufficiency. So I feel like it is very important to create a balance. Yeah.
Okay. Before I let you go and I head to the streets, let me just ask you the question I'm going to ask people out there. There's this term, Oga wife, and a lot of persons are saying they want to become Oga wife. No need to stress myself. Let me just be madam in the house. Do you think that someone can be an independent Oga wife?
An independent Oga wife. I cannot.
Okay, so let's contrast it. The mindset of being an Oga wife and the mindset of being an independent woman. How does it interplay?
Well, a lot of persons will say that if you escape being a housewife or Oga wife,
Oga wife is a housewife.
yes, if you escape being Oga wife, you
Yeah.
definitely fall back to being a career woman. So if you do not want to go through the stress of being Oga wife, you definitely go through the stress of being an independent woman. So either ways, it is not you choosing to be an Oga wife. That does not necessarily mean you are reducing the stress and everything. It's either you are here, because that's how life is. Whatever place you pick,
It
there's
always has its challenges.
so exactly. So whatever whoever is speaking, fine by them, fine by us. But just know that there's stress here, there's stress here. So pick your struggle. That's the
Okay.
word.
So what do you pick, Oga wife or
Personally,
independent woman? That's just on the lighter note. Thank you so much, Joy Obaisiagmo, for being on the show today. Yes, I'm going to be heading down to the streets right about now. Let's talk to people out there as regards the term Oga wife and independent woman. Which trends more? Which flies more? Which is of more benefit in general? That's the question on the show tonight. Stay with us.
To me, I prefer to be an independent woman because there's so many advantages of being an independent woman.
Me, I prefer Oga wife because if you become Oga wife, many things dey wey you go benefit. How you go be Oga wife? You go come dey stress yourself. But it still depend on the man wey you see marry. There's some Oga wey you go dey with, you go still regret yourself why you no become independent woman. But I prefer when you be Oga wife because that thing dey sweet me well. Every time my Oga go dey settle me well, to understand. The more e dey give you money, no mean say make you dey spend am anyhow. You go dey save am, you go get rest of mind. All that boss around, you no go dey there again. I prefer Oga wife because at the end my Oga fit dey pay me every month, because you no fit tell me to housewife at the end you no dey pay me every month. You must dey pay me every month to sit down, to dey take care of your children, to dey lecture your children.
Why do we have to pick between being an Oga wife and an independent lady? I'm speaking from the angle of someone that works. I have a salary job. At the end of the month, I earn salaries, and I still want to be an Oga wife. Even every strong lady needs a support. Like a backbone to support them in their whatever it is they choose to do. So I can choose to be an independent lady and at the same time be an Oga wife. I'm independent in the sense that I have something going on for me. I have something that I know that I can fall back to anytime, but I still want to be with someone that will take care of me, my finances and all of that. I want to have my money. I want to also have my husband's money. So I can choose. I'm an independent woman already, but I want to be an Oga wife. So one cannot work without another. So they balance each other out. So I choose to be I don't choose to be an independent lady, and I also want to be an Oga wife. So that's just it.
How we go for the Oga wife? Why? Oga wife, you have a lot of privilege, you have whatever you want, you have money, you have time for yourself, you have time to relax, you have time to take care of your family. But being a career or independent woman, you go to work Monday to Friday, you spend your time, everything, you will still come back home and take care of the family, mind you. And the salary they might be paying you, you will spend for transport, feeding and everything, half of the salary. But being Oga wife, what he will be giving me will be more than what I will be receiving outside there. And if you say you want to be a businesswoman, sit down there and employ people to work for you, you need a lot of capital. So without you making a lot of money, I don't think you can just sit down there and be controlling people to work for you. You understand what I'm saying? So I will prefer and go for Oga wife, because I will come back, I will be at home, enjoy myself, I'll receive my salary, take care of myself, have time for myself, have time for my children. Career or businesswoman, you will still come back home and still take care of the children, take care of the family after a stressful day at work. You understand? So I will actually go for the Oga wife. Thank you.
In cream, like Thelma and Louise, but on chrome. Never leave that Brooklyn alone. So if you say it's on.
I would prefer being an independent woman, because it's much more better to be an independent woman than to depend on your husband for every little thing. Because maybe your husband might not be around and you might need something at home, or maybe children might come back from school and like, okay, mommy, they said we should pay for something. You might, instead of you to be waiting for your husband, you just like, okay, take money, you pay, or maybe snacks that children will take for school. Instead of you to be depending on your husband for every little thing, you can actually do that for yourself. And maybe tomorrow, maybe your husband might lose his job at work, and there might not be any way to support him if you are actually depending on your husband. If needs arises, you can actually support your husband whenever he needs anything, or maybe he loses his job at work.
I prefer Oga wife. It's not that I will not have what I'm doing. I will also have my side business, so that will be making money for me, I'll be assisting my husband, but it will not be too much. I cannot carry everything on my head because of what? I'll be Oga wife, as I said earlier.
I prefer being an independent woman than being an Oga wife. You know, when you're independent, there's the kind of things you would like to get for yourself. Without you asking your husband, you will get it for yourself. That's the kind of time when you ask your husband for things like, I want to get stuff, clothes, shoes. Sometimes your husband will tell you that I don't have, because he has so many other things that he's doing, that he's using money for. But you being an independent woman, without you asking for your husband for money, you can provide for yourself. You can also provide for the home, sometimes where your husband does not have. But once you are an Oga wife, once your husband is broke, you are also broke. So that's it. Being an independent woman is the best.
I prefer to be Oga's wife, because first of all, I'm not the kind of woman that will go around stressing myself. I just need quick access to money. Don't stress yourself. Like, if you be Oga wife now, like, you don't stress yourself. Your skin will be clean. Not that all those independent women stressing themselves. No husband. I cannot do that kind of. You be Oga wife. Just sitting down at home. Quick money, quick cash. No girl wants to waste her time being dependent when you have your husband to provide money for you. So I see that as the girl or the woman just wasting her time.